Tonight, the Mandalay Cricket Club talks promotion and the pros and cons thereof. Youth Cricket AGM sets high targets for the upcoming youth weeks. We feature the match of the week. And it seems our boys just can't do without technology. All this and more on From the Clubhouse.
Welcome to episode 3 of From the Clubhouse. We're looking forward to a great show tonight. Lots on offer. We take a look at what's happening with some clubs in the townships. Also pop in with the Proteas and see how things are going in India. And as usual, we've got the panel here, Gavin Arends as well as Clinton Dupree. Welcome again, guys.
It's good to be back, Brandon. I see you were out at watching your old club Durbanville play this last weekend.
Loving every minute, just didn't love the scoreboard, but yeah, more on that a bit later. Clinton, what were you up to this weekend?
I found myself in Kimberley. What a trip. Weather was a bit of a nightmare, but I'm back. Healthy.
Yeah, you did catch a bit of a tan.
You reckon? It's my normal look, my guy. Just don't get it wrong next time though. So, but yeah, good trip in Kimberley. Successful weekend 3-day with us beating Northern Cape. The one day we won't touch about that now. We'll touch about it later. So not the best of results, but a good positive weekend though.
And in terms of the other things that were happening on the weekend, there was also obviously the guys all prepared for the first day of 2-day. We spoke to some of the guys at the field as well, and they were raring to go. They were actually happy to see us coming out to the club and actually bringing from the clubhouse to the guys on the ground level, if I can put it that way, right, Gav?
Yeah, the game that we covered, what was apparent was how ready the guys were for the first day of the 2-day competition. Getting out there, especially the bowlers, had a field day. But as you said earlier on, we'll be brushing up on that a little bit later on. Clinton, elsewhere, can you give us an update? Do you know what happened elsewhere? Was it something similar happening?
No, well, if you look at the scores elsewhere, there's been some big scores in some games. Also, like some teams were battling as well. Mandalay itself, from their promotion up from 2nd division to 1st division, they did well on day 1. And I think generally it was just a fair reflection. And we'll look at the final results on day 2 and assess where we're at and how we look into the next round of games.
Well, there's lots of other things that we also want to touch on, but that is for Let's Talk Cricket. Well, there's lots going on around the cricketing world with the season starting now, and we're going to be touching on Cobras, we're going to be touching on women's cricket, we're going to be touching on youth cricket, we're going to be touching on first class cricket as well, and the man that's going to give us lots of that info is none other than Clinton Dupree. Clinton, where will we start? Shall we start at the bottom? Shall we start at the top? Who do you want to start?
Oh, you decide. Cricket is cricket, I guess. Huh? But I mean, if we go back to the club structures, I think as I've alluded to earlier, it's been quite a successful weekend. Positive things that most of the clubs pitched for the games, which was quite good. Good start to the season. Also looking at, we had one bad incident over the weekend. I don't want to divulge too much into it because all the information that we do have is only what we received on social media. It looks like a bad situation, but we're trying to resolve the matter. We met with local leagues. We're going to meet with the club soon to see. We had an incident out at Nyanga where there was some sort of robbery that took place and gunshots rang somewhere, but that's the information that we do have. And yes, we're discussing it on this platform because it's also the need to be careful out there when we do go to our neighbouring clubs. When we go and visit, secure your possessions. It doesn't only happen in cricket fields, it happens everywhere, in malls, it happens all over. So just the awareness, it's quite important. Also with regards to the first class side, they had as I mentioned, a very successful 3-day game. Superb innings by Zubair Hamza, Jason Smith, Geef Linder in the first innings. The bowlers, Brian Shushu, did very well, picked up 4. In the second innings, we had Geef Linder, who picked up 5. So it was good all-round performance by Geef. The team did very well. We then eventually won the game by 275 runs against Northern Cape, which was a good start to the season. And then the little bug that bit us last year again, getting into the one-day games the next day, we miserably failed. Bowling them out for 193, and then had to chase that down and came well short when get bowled out for 107. So it wasn't the best of days at the office, but I guess it's a good learning curve for the boys. The team is in high spirits, the coach is in high spirits, and very soon we'll be chatting to the coach as well. Another fixture that took place this weekend, which something we never featured in the past, was a blind cricket game that took place between Louwthab and Worcester. League of the Friends of the Blind, which is our local club. They beat Worcester at Chaka Road, and which was good to see and good to know that the guys are playing, they're active, preparing for the national weeks in December. So it's great to see them going, and very soon we'll start following them as well.
Now, just to take you back on a couple of the things that you mentioned, and I know you said you didn't want to delve into it because you don't want to sort of focus on negative, but the incident that we had at one of the cricket clubs, is it something that we can maybe discuss in shows going forward once you've got all the information, so we can just also notify the viewers and the club cricketers on a whole about, you know, the pitfalls and what to look out for, and who they can actually, what recourse there is. Because like you mentioned, it can happen anywhere, but it's happened at a cricket club now, and as Western Province custodians of cricket, we obviously want to make their playing days and their time out on the field, or Saturdays in general, safer for them. You know, they don't have to, they shouldn't be worrying about those things. They should be focusing on the game. So is that something we can revisit going forward?
No, I would like to revisit, but like I said, I don't divulge into it because the information, it's only what you read on social media. We haven't received official reports with regards to that, so I wouldn't want to go into depth in the conversation as to what happened and what didn't happen. But yeah, it's a socio-economic problem which we need to look at. It's tough out there, we all understand it's tough, and I think it's just by everybody just accepting the opportunity of playing each other, and not looking at the negative side of things, trying to go there and be positive and create this cricket space, but we're open to discuss it going forward.
And now women's cricket also got underway this past weekend. Is there anything you can let us know?
Yeah, no, the club cricket started, so we're looking forward to that. They have a break this weekend because the ladies travel to Free State. They have their first provincial game as well, 50 over on Saturday and a 20-20 on Sunday. And they also have the clothing handover, which we'll probably touch base on next week as well. So good luck to Kobus and his team. And we trust that they're going to do well as they've done in the past.
Kevin, that is this weekend, but then there's also another big thing, obviously, this weekend. It's the Cobras. It's their first home game, the 16th. It's a massive one. We've been looking forward to this, and they're going to be playing in front of their home crowd. And there's lots on offer for that as well, for everyone that comes to the ground.
Yeah, before we go to Clinton to tell us a bit what Western Province Cricket Association has put in place for the spectators, the Cobra is coming off the back of not such a great performance against the Lions, so this is an absolute prime opportunity for them to put things right. But having said that, they are playing the Titans. The Titans also didn't have the best of starts to the season. They went down in their first game as well, so that's all to play for. It's going to be in Humdinger, and I'm certainly looking forward to see what's going to happen here.
Some of those Titans sleeping at home when they play here.
No, well, even the national side, you can find the national side, all of them probably staying at home as well. But going back to the Cobras, I think what is disappointing is the fact that we cannot pick up wickets. And even in the pre-season games, in the friendlies, picking those wickets was a bit of a concern. And well, you never know. The quality that we do have and the availability of players, we could be probably winning games and probably by the end of the season walking away with the competition again. That's how good the Cobras are.
The competition's not won in the first week. We also have to remember that.
Definitely not.
So Gav, will you be coming to the game and cheering on the Cobras?
I will definitely be cheering on the Cobras. There's no other team that we should be cheering on, is there? No, I definitely will be here, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys here as well. Remember, two of you guys later on in the show, just towards the end of the show, we'll announce the winners of that trivia tickets that we gave away last week. So two families will be joining us here at Newlands for that game.
Gav, talking about tickets, what's your trivia question this week?
The trivia question for this evening, I hope, is going to be as easy for you to answer as it is for me to ask. Who bowled that last over in the first ODI between South Africa and India, which South Africa won so handsomely? Shall I just call it that? Your answer, please, on Facebook, that's at From the Clubhouse, or on Twitter at Clubhouse_TV, and you could be one of two winners of a set of 5 tickets to the Cobras' next game here at PPC Newlands. That's against the Warriors on the 25th of this month.
We urge you please to get in contact with us on our social media platforms, WP_cricket, as well as on Facebook, From the Clubhouse, and on Twitter, Clubhouse_TV. When we come back, we take a look at our game of the week.
Hi, I'm Siraj Conrad, and you're watching From the Clubhouse.
It's the day we've all been waiting for, the start of the two-day competition. The first game that we're covering from the Clubhouse is the one between last year's defending champions Durbanville Cricket Club and the Club of the Year here in the Western Province Cricket Association, Extra Space Bellville. The weather gods delayed the start of today's play, but nevertheless play got underway, and that's the important bit. I'm Gavin Arends from the Oval at Bellville Cricket Club.
After a slight delay in the start of the day's play, Extra Space Bellville's captain Bradley Barnes won the toss and asked Durbanville to bat first. The Durbanville batsmen were soon in trouble and were already 27 for 2 after the first 10 overs. At the first drinks break, the Bellville skipper encouraged his players to keep up the pressure, and the Bellville bowlers responded positively in capturing further wickets, while the Durbanville batsmen battled on what seemed to be not an easy wicket to play on.
It's lunchtime here at Bellville, and looking up at the scoreboard, 59 for the loss of 5 wickets is the defending champions from last year, Durbanville Cricket Club. They've got their backs against the wall. I spoke to both captains present today, and this is what they had to say. Captain of Bellville Cricket Club, Brad Barnes. Brad, 5, you've got them down for 59. Is that what you would have expected coming in this morning?
I don't think you would ever expect to have a side 60 for 5 at lunch, but if 9 o'clock this morning, if you'd said to me, would you like to have it, I would say yes, please.
What do you put that down to though? Is it the conditions or is it just your discipline?
I think it's always a good toss to win at Bellville. I think you always look to bowl first. There's a bit in the wicket in the first hour or so. And the bowlers stuck to their plans and we took our catches, so yeah.
You said it's a good position to have them in. What were you guys looking at before the start of play in terms of having them chase?
Well, to be honest, we didn't really have too many targets in mind at the start. We sort of just had the first session, get it out of the way and reassess at lunch. And now it's about making sure we kick on from this. And make sure we get the next 5 wickets as quickly as we can.
I was going to say, what is your plan after lunch? But you've said it. In terms of your own batting, should you be batting today? What is your approach going to be?
Personally, I'll try and bat for as long as possible. And as a team, obviously, there's 4 points up for grabs of the first innings win. So hopefully we can do that and build a good innings lead to take to the next week. Yeah.
Wallace Albertyn, die kaptein van Durbanville Cricket Club. Julle is die verdedigende kampioene. Onder druk, hoe lyk dit daar buite?
Nie die begin wat ons wou gehad het nie, maar ek dink vanoggend het die tos nogal so groot rol gespeel. Die wicket is 'n bietjie stukkie aan die een kant, maar ook ons dissipline was nie goed nie. Ek bedoel, soos die kaptein van Bellville gesê het, hulle vangskote gevat. Ek bedoel, ek dink hulle het regtig enige van ons regtig uitgekry nie. Ons het eintlik maar onsself uitgekry. Maar dit is vroeg in die seisoen, so ons is maar positiewe klomp spelers en ons laat maar vat na lunch weer.
Net in terme van die seisoen, hoe groot is die wedstryd teen Bellville vir julle?
Dis mos maar die derby game in die noordelike voorstede. So is altyd 'n bietjie aksie gedurende die wedstryd, maar ook in 'n goeie manier. So en is halfe broederskap tussen die twee, maar op die veld is ons maar hard op mekaar.
Nou net oor die wedstryd, wat sê jy nou vir die ouens in die klubhuis?
Kyk, op die einde van die dag, as jy loop op die bord, die ander span moet nog steeds dit gaan kry. So as ons kan kom tot by 100, 120, cricket is a funny game, anything can happen. En ons het ons sterkpunt verlede jaar was ons opening bowlers geweest, Nathan en Brandon Fred. So ons is confident dat ons ook vir hulle kan restrict na iets in dieselfde totaal.
After lunch, the extra space Bellville's bowlers continued to give the Durbanville batsmen a hard time. Durbanville had a lucky escape just after lunch when the extra space Bellville skipper put one down its slip. Although they were losing wickets, the Durbanville batsmen were still picking up the odd boundary and some lucky boundaries as well. Further good bowling performances from all the extra space Bellville bowlers kept the Durbanville batsmen from taking control, resulting in the last 5 wickets falling for not too many runs. The Durbanville innings came to an end on 112 about an hour after the lunch break. The extra space Bellville batsmen found that the pitch didn't get any easier as they were skittled out for just 98. The best batting performance for Durbanville came from Swartz on 29 and Samsudin on 27, while Childs 5 for 32 and Russell's 4 for 31 were the best of the extra space Bellville's bowling attack. Malan's 41 and Barnes's 20 were the extra space Bellville's top batting performers. Castle and Swartz with 6 for 26 and 3 for 24 were the chief destroyers of the extra space Bellville's batting lineup. This leaves Durbanville with a slender 14-run lead on the first innings going into the last day's play next Saturday.
Hi, I'm Wallace Albertine from Durbanville Cricket Club and you're watching from the Clubhouse.